Greetings and welcome, BUSN 1315 Leadership, the online section of our leadership class. I'm your instructor, I'm Dr. McGrory, and I'm just reaching out to welcome you to this first week of classes. The first official day of class was yesterday. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. Can you believe it? So happy new year, happy new decade even. And welcome to this new class. Gosh, we have all these new things going on. As I reached out, I just want to make sure that you're not delaying, that you're getting started in the class. I wanted to welcome you. I want to talk to you about assignments that are due. I want to talk to you about the book, the access code, what you're supposed to be doing, where your schedule is, and I want to talk to you about something that's going on in our course that I'm working on in regards to what is known as the Include Ed, but it is now known as the DEI access with our course, okay? So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to open up your browser. The recommended browser is Chrome, C-H-R-O-M-E, and it's kind of that colorful little circle, and it's a free download if you don't have it, so you can Google Chrome and download it. Our course materials tend to work best with Chrome. It's always good to have multiple browsers on your computer, and if you experience technical difficulties, try a different browser. So Chrome is what I'm recommending, and as a second backup browser, Firefox. Not Internet Explorer or Explorer or any of that, but Firefox. So you can Google that as well. Now, and download it. Now I'm on the Southwest main page, and I want you to go into pause. Some people do that by first going to My Southwest. There is a link directly above it to go straight to pause. I'm going to do that, and I think I did not log out last time, so I'm directly in the class. Do go ahead and log in. That's an important thing. Log in, your username and password, and make sure you log out, especially if you're on a public computer, okay? Now once I'm in the class, I'm going to go up here to this icon with all the squares, and it's called Select a Course, and I'm going to click on that. And as I look through my courses, I have clicked on the little pen icon because that makes my courses readily available to me at the top. And I see my leadership course, and I'm going to click on that. Now, our screens hopefully look pretty similar at this point, but I am logged in as the instructor, so you would not have, for example, this course admin link. I'm going to change the view. Just bear with me for just a moment. And this way it'll look more like the screens that you'll see, all right? So now that I'm in here, I would like to begin by going to content. I would like to believe that I've prepared for you a very well-organized course, and if you follow content, you'll have pretty much what you need to get started. It'll guide you, okay? So as I go in, if you don't see anything here, maybe you see the words overview, so you might see this, but if you look along this left-hand side, come down to where it says Table of Contents, you can click that. There's a lot of categories here on the left that will help you navigate. To begin, how about getting started? And in getting started, you see a link to the syllabus. Absolutely, yes, click read, because this is important information. As a student, you need to understand what's expected, and you're going to feel frustrated and confused, and you're going to be struggling to say, I don't know what they want me to do. I didn't know. Nobody told me. I didn't know. And I get that because it's scary to look at the syllabus. Give yourself a moment. It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to inform you, and that's what you need. You need to know. You need to kind of face it head on, right? So look through this. You're going to see things like my name and that kind of thing, but there's some interesting stuff in here. For example, here is where I talk about good news. The course participates in the Include Ed program. The name changed last week. It's now called DEI, so that students purchase the digital access to the ebook and connect assignments at the time of enrollment. Now, I need to talk to you about that because I think we're having some setting difficulties, and I'm working on that, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in this video, so bear with me because that's important and I need you to get that information, okay? Do be aware that no matter what, Connect is not free and it is required for the course. If we were not participating in this Include Ed program, which we have not for many years, many years, then you just simply buy it separately and you can purchase it online with a credit card and all that kind of stuff. So no worries, okay? Not to worry. Scroll down, and again, this tells you a little bit about what our book is, who the authors are, what you need. You need what's called Connect Plus, which is the Learn Smart with Smart Book, and it includes other assignments, quizzes, and things like that, okay? Read this. Just because I'm going through it quickly, I'm going through it quickly to save time on the video. You don't want to rush. Find a moment of peace, give yourself 15, 30 minutes, read through this. Use a highlighter. Use a pen to underline. Make stars next to things so that you know. Okay? I'm scrolling down a little bit more, and this is another section that typically draws focus, which is, how am I going to be graded? How are you going to evaluate me, right? Well, the first thing you're going to see is almost 1,000 points in the class. Not quite, but almost. And how many tests do we have? What's going to be on the test? How do I study for the test? Here you go. It's going to be in Connect. Right? Got to have that access to Connect. And this is going to tell you in detail. Look at that. You can take each test up to 3 times prior to the due date. You want to read this. How many questions are there going to be? How many points are there? Right? Read that. What is this thing that I talk about called Learn Smart? What is a Learn Smart? Read through this. I'm going to show you, but you want the details that are here. No makeups, no late work, no extensions, things like that. Don't be caught off guard. How about these quizzes? They're also in Connect. How many points are they? Are they true, false? Tell me more. Well, you can read it right there, and you're going to feel more comfortable and more confident when you do. We're going to have some multiple choice quizzes. Each chapter, true, false quizzes, multiple choice quizzes. So you can read through that. Okay. And how are each of these things graded? So please read through this. Take some time. And then underneath those detailed explanations, you are going to see a recap. Okay, here's the quick rundown. Doesn't have the detail that you need. Here's your exam points. Here's your Learn Smart points. Here's your quiz, right? So go through and read that. Very quick recap of how many. 10 points each, 11 chapters, so there's 1 per chapter. But there's 1 drop grade. There's 1 drop grade. See that? So go through and look at that. Make sure you're comfortable. Here's how your grade is going to be calculated. You can look at that. How many points do you need to earn an A? Look at that. And just go through. I think everything's straightforward. Here's the technical support number. Keep that handy. You just never know when you might need, you have trouble with Connect. What do I need to do? Well, call them post haste so that you know right away. You start working on the problem. You can tell me about it, but get started with getting it resolved first, right? That's where that different browser, maybe even moving to a different computer can be helpful. Okay, so where do I go to use a computer, things like that? Okay, it's all in there. So that's the syllabus, and you're going to take your time and go back and read this after the video, okay? Now, remember we started out under the content. We went to table of contents and this getting started. I'm just going to come back by clicking that link to getting started. So we looked at the syllabus. Now, the next 2 things you see we want to talk about, one is our registration page and one is our schedule. And we want to look at both of these. I'm going to start with this registration, and this is where I have some really important information to talk to you about. So let me click on this. All right. This PDF will give you the basic information for the class. It just confirms that you're in the right section, the online section, that it's the leadership course, that the material doesn't become available until yesterday in this case, and I'm telling you, you need to start at this website. Now, once we click on this, we're going to want to bookmark this page, but it's very important to start there. Before I do that, I want you to look at the rest of the page. What do you do if you're having trouble? Look, I've got the hyperlink right there for you to click on so that you can get those problems addressed, get help. What if you don't want to do the stuff online, resolve the issue online. Instead, you want to call. Well, here's the 800 number, so call that, right? Or go to this online link and submit a ticket, help ticket, or whatever they call it, number, incident number, whatever, so that you can get, help with the problem. Really nice people to deal with. They're going to help you, okay? You can notice this download button at the bottom. Maybe you want to save this to your computer, in a folder for our class, for example, so that if you need this late at night, you can get in, you've got it, quickly open it. I am going to click on this link. It opens a new tab and it's going to take me to the page in Connect. Just confirm while you're here that you're in the 2020 spring semester, that this is for the leadership course, right? Make sure you're not in another different course now, okay? That has happened. And just go through here and it says, look, do you already have a sign in? Then go ahead and sign in. We're going to create one. Use whatever email address that you'd like. You can use definitely your Southwest email. That would be great. You can also use Gmail, Hotmail, Comcast, Bell South, whatever you want to use. Just remember it, okay? And that's more difficult than it sounds. I know that for a fact. Write it down and write the password. You're going to be asked for a password here in a minute. Write both of those down so that you don't have any trouble when you need to get back in. I am going to just use kind of a practice account here, so I'm going to, you use a real email address, please, and I'm just going to create that and then begin. Now, I do have some, lots of important information as it relates to Connect. I need to retype that. Pause the video if you need some time to do that, but before you fill in those next fields, listen to me. Okay. Password, first of all, I'm going to do that real quick. Your first name. What does the college believe your first name is? If you go by Jimmy Joe, but your real first name is Fred, then I need to see Fred in that first name box, not Jimmy Joe. Okay? I don't know if people call you Bubba. That's a common nickname. But if your real name is Xavier Genius, then you put Xavier Genius in that first name field. Okay? Whatever is on file with the college. The same is true for the last name. Now I'm just doing a pretend, let me put sample student here. What is your last name with the college? Now listen up. I understand that sometimes people go through divorces, things like that, and even though your last name with the college is Smith, you divorced him, you don't want to use that name, you want to use Jones because that is your name, and that is not what's on file with the college. Get it changed with the college, because I want McGraw-Hill to know that you're a student in my class and that your name aligns with the college's class roster, okay? All right, so make sure that first name is in the first name field, last name's in the last name field. Don't mix it up. It causes all kinds of problems and people do it. So don't do it. All right, you're going to answer these security questions. You can put your cell number in there. That's optional. Both of these are Macon campus. I don't think that matters. Click on I agree to the terms, because otherwise you won't be able to get in. Click continue. Okay, if you would like, McGraw-Hill will search to see if you already have that account on file with other classes. So maybe you are using Connect in your accounting class or in your Intro to Business class. And if so, maybe you want to have all that together under one account. If so, certainly do that. In my case, I don't. I'm just going to say continue with my new account. All right. Here's what I need to talk to you about, because this screen surprises me. Unfortunately, not a good surprise, bad surprise. When you enrolled in the class, the college should have charged you. This will be on the receipt. You can go into My Southwest and check the charges. It should have charged you for access to our course materials. That's what the DEI or the Include Ed program is all about. This screen tells me that they may not have done that, okay? So I'm checking on that right now, and I wanted to let you know that because if they if they charged you for that, you should be going on into the system. I think there was some confusion, and I'm starting to believe at this point that perhaps they did not charge you. And what that means is that you would then have to purchase access, okay? So at this point, my recommendation, strong recommendation to you, is to begin with this temporary access. Now, as it says, it is temporary, and it gives you 2 weeks of access. And so what's going to happen during those 2 weeks is I am going to be working with McGraw-Hill. I'm going to be working with our bookstore to try to figure out what's going on and if you've been charged. And if you have been charged, then I believe, this is how I foresee the process, that McGraw-Hill would just change that to a paid access. Again, that name is going to be very important in there, okay? If not, then you will have to buy access. But you can do that even after this temporary access has expired, okay? Your work will not be lost. You'll just not have access to it anymore until you pay for it. But everything will still be there. I think we'll definitely, I hope to get this resolved in a day or two. And I hope to email you tomorrow saying this is the situation. So for now, please click on Access Now, which is, it says get started with 2 weeks of free access to Connect. Your work will be saved and available to you and your instructor once you purchase. Okay, so click on that, please. And I do apologize for this. I really do apologize. Okay, so we have the temporary 2-week access. I'm going to click on Confirm. And it's going to remind you incessantly that you have temporary access. And again, if it turns out you're going to have to purchase it separately and not as part of the enrollment process, then I will let you know. So go to Connect. Got to be patient, got to be patient. And here we are. All right, very quickly, I'm not going to go through every single thing because you'll get it, but I am going to get you started, make sure you understand how to get started. So the first thing I want you to do is to look at these icons on the left-hand side. Right now you have this clock because these are the things that are due very quickly, due in the next 7 days. So you see it's open and you see when it's going to close, and that's the important thing. We have to get done with these assignments before they close, okay? Do not delay. February 5th sounds like a long way away. It's really not because you got a lot of stuff to do here. So I gave you a little extra time on the first chapter, but it just means that you have more work next week, okay? So don't delay on that. The next thing that you have is this calendar view, so I can click on calendar, and you can see there's some assignments due on the 28th already, right? I've got this podium, and it says classes. Now this one is especially important because you may have multiple classes. You might have Intro to Business, you might have personal finance uses Connect. We have a lot of classes. Marketing uses Connect. So you may have accounting. You may have a variety of classes underneath here. So you can simply click. I just have the one class, but you can click on just the one if you'd like, and you're going to get this reminder that you have temporary access. And it's fine. Just say yes. What? Oh, that's new. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I clicked the wrong button, didn't I? I clicked yes. I wanted to pay now. I don't want to pay now. I'm sorry. Click that, classes, and I should have clicked no. Do you want to purchase access right now? No. So I just used my back button to get out of that. Okay. What I see now is a lot of information. Okay, so I'm on this podium icon, and if I want to rent the book, and why? You don't need to rent it, and if you want this printed copy as an additional thing, you can do that, but what is required is the ebook. What you see on the right hand side are the chapters of the ebook, and I'm going to go through that, but give me just a moment, okay? But here's ways to buy printed copies. Here's where you can go directly into just the whole ebook, but I've got better stuff for you, so bear with me, okay? We're just looking at the views, and I'm going to come back to this podium view. Here you have an icon that's going to tell you about your results for your assignments so that you can know how you're doing, although your real grade will be the grade posted into PAWS. And I'll email you every time I post grades into PAWS so that you'll know, and you can go out there and make sure that I've copied it correctly. And that's going to be important because when I calculate your final grade in the class, I'm going to do it using the values in PAWS, not Connect. PAWS, okay? Anyway, and just some additional, I don't want to go into all that, just some additional things where you can get further insight. Oh, dadgummit. Okay, back in, where you can get further insight into your, I'm sorry, goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm waiting for emails. Okay, so I'm going to sign in again. I'm sorry. Let me tell you what I did. I went back to that page because I didn't mean to jump around. Remember, table of contents, getting started, and I clicked the link to open this Connect registration from this page, and I would encourage you to bookmark this website. But remember, this page includes help information, the help number, and all that. But this is our course, Connect BUSN1315 20S. And now that I've created a sign-in, I'm going to just sign in. So maybe it's good that I closed that by accident. Okay, and we were looking, and I should have had to enter my username and password, but I didn't log out. I just accidentally closed the tab, so make sure that you always log out. All right, so you can explore these on the side, but I want to go back to this podium icon, and specifically to our class. Eventually, we might need to purchase access. I'm going to click on No. Now, it says we have 3 items that are due for Chapter 1, and I need to probably get started on that. Now, this is your book. I'm so sorry, but there are assignments associated with your book. And then we have a true-false quiz, and then we have a multiple-choice quiz. And these things are all due, and it seems a little more clear here. These assignments are all due January 28th. Okay? So January 28th. I think I said February 5th earlier. I must have been looking at the wrong thing. So let's make sure January 28th, okay? All right. Let me tell you about this book because you have to earn points. You have to answer questions as you read the book. So this is one of your assignments. As we look over here, it says SB, that means Smart Book, and LS means Learn Smart. So when I refer to a Learn Smart assignment, this is really what I'm talking about right here. Click on this blue arrow. It says this should take about 21 minutes. Now, it's going to take some people longer and some people less time. It tells me when it's due. Now, this is your book, but there's an assignment embedded within the book. So let me explain something about this due date. You will be able to open this chapter of your book after the due date, and you'll be able to answer questions after the due date. But if you are even 1 minute, if you are in here working and answering questions at 11:56, you are not earning points. Very, very important. Be done by the due date. So I'm going to click on Begin. Be patient. This is a really nice interactive book, so give it a minute. Goodness, give it a long minute. This is taking time. I'm going to pause the video just so we don't waste too much time. All right, here we are. The book is loaded. It just took about, 30 seconds more. And it says, welcome to the Smart Book, and that it's an adaptive reading experience, which is really cool. So show me. I'm going to click down here where it says show me. Now this is the cool part, and there's 2 parts. Notice they have a read icon, and notice they have practice, and we're going to see these. And it says when we're reading, when we see something in yellow, we need to focus on it. How do they know that we need to focus on it as opposed to this green highlight where it says we've already mastered it? How do they know? They're going to know because of the questions that you answer as we go through, okay? So In the practice phase, it says you're going to answer questions that measure your understanding. Here's the most important part. It's where you earn points. If you only read, you will not earn the points. So you have to make sure you're answering questions in the practice. Click on Next. Okay, this sounds obvious, but it's not. When you are ready to leave the book, or to leave Connect, or to leave this Learn Smart assignment, you're going to have to go to the upper left-hand corner of your screen, and you'll see those 3 bars, and that's how you're going to get your menu. All right? Click on Next. Congratulations! Click on Next. Yay! You're the greatest! Here we go. Click Exit. Oh, now this is kind of fun. If you are a gamer, then you may want to participate with students around the world who are also completing this reading assignment, and you can see who gets the most points. That's totally up to you. I'm going to click Cancel, but if you love to do that kind of stuff, or if you just want to play around with it, feel free. Shouldn't all be drudgery, right? This is leadership. Leadership is fun. It's a great course, so beneficial. I've learned so much. I really have from this course. All right, you do have to be just a little bit patient, and the page will load. And as you click on the different pages, see them over here on the left side? The page will load up. Might take just a second here. Goodness, it's kind of running a little slow today. You know, it's the first week of class, and I think we have a lot of people who are really hitting the system. Now, this is great. I'm basically on page 1, and I can barely read this text. It's grayed out. That's one of the ways they say, that's not important now. And as a teacher, I'm like, what? You need to read every single word. What is going on? But if I keep scrolling down, this is the part they want me to focus on, the information that's in yellow highlight. They're trying to make my reading very engaging and very focused. And here's the logic behind it. Have you ever gotten in the car, maybe you're even driving, and you get to your destination and you don't even remember the journey? I mean, you were pressing the gas, you didn't wreck your car, you got there successfully, but you were just in this weird zone, like zoned out. How about this? How about the teacher says to you, you're not reading your book, you need to read the book. And your response is, I read every page, every word. I spent an hour, I spent 2 hours reading the book. And you really did. But the information didn't go into your head. This is designed to try to eliminate that. While you're fresh, let's get in there and let's focus on what you absolutely need and that we don't think you know. And that's the stuff highlighted in yellow. Now, that being said, what if you're like, wait, what happened right before this? I can't read this, it's too light. Click on it. As soon as you click on it, it'll darken up, and there's no problem with reading it. You know, go ahead. Maybe it gives you more context. Maybe that's fine. And so, by all means, I mean, I'm not discouraging you at all. So you would go through each, page of your book or section and read this, maybe. But remember, reading is great, but you need to read for purpose. You need to read for understanding. And the best way to do that is to answer questions. So in the lower left corner of your screen, you remember how they said there was 2 parts, read and practice? If I click on practice, it's going to take me to the questions. And notice how it changed to read? So if I click read, it takes me back to the book. It's going so slow. It's normally not this slow. Okay, so it takes me back, and then if I click practice, it takes me back to the questions. Here's how I earn points. Now, here's what we got to look at. Down at the bottom, there's 28 questions for this one. I have got to get through all 28 questions. I won't get through all 28 questions if I answer one wrong. If I answer one wrong, it'll just give me another question. So the only way I can get to the end is to answer them all correctly. And you need to get to the end, and you can do it, and I'm going to show you how. Let's look at this one. Which of the following skills was most important to the emergence of leadership among the survivors of the 1972 plane crash in the Andes? Why did I get that question? Okay, let's see. Which of the following skills was most important to the emergence of leadership? Was it aviation knowledge? I'm going to say, yeah, probably not, right? Past history of being a leader? Maybe so. Persuasiveness in decision making. Yeah, that, I could see that. Knowledge of the local language and customs. I am going to say persuasiveness in decision making. Now, I'm not done yet. I really was not very confident in that, was I? I mean, I'm like, do I know it? Maybe, I don't know, right? I think I kind of think so. So what does this tell me about my mastery of this? Well, if that is the right answer and I click I know it, then surely I have mastered this particular concept. But if I have guessed at it and I click I know it and it's wrong, if I thought I knew it, then I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. What if I click this and it's the right answer, but I had no idea? Well, it's clearly a guess, and so my mastery of learning these concepts is not good. Okay, so that's the purpose of this gaming. In this case, I think so, but I am not very confident. Now remember, we started out with 28 questions, so I think so. Hey, I was right. That's fantastic. It still says 28 questions. Let me click on OK. Yes, it reduced my number of questions by 1. And so now I only have 27 questions to go. It has, in the background, kind of figured out that I may not be real confident in my answer. In one of those icons that we were looking at earlier with Insight, that will help you gauge how strong your understanding is. Okay, so I encourage you to look at those reports later. Now we have another question. All of the following are areas of study by leadership researchers except, and I have no idea. Okay, so when I have no idea, there's a link over here that says read about this, and I'm going to click on that. Here's what I love. It doesn't just take you to the book or to the chapter, it takes you to the page in the book with the area highlighted, right? So I should be able to read through this. Look, here's the part about the Andes, and so I could read through that. Okay, and here some leadership researchers have focused on personality, physical traits, behavior. So it's trying to give me the answer. And obviously down here there's, goodness, this whole page is normally not like that, but this whole page is practically highlighted, right? So I would read through here and I would find the answer. And I'm sorry, you saw I just went back to the question. So here it says, all of the following areas of study by leadership researchers except, well, I saw personality was listed, right? Was it physical traits? Do you remember? Let's go back. Let's see, how aspects of the situation affect how leaders act, the relationship. Personality, physical traits or behaviors of the leaders. Others have studied relationships, still others have between followers and leaders, and others have studied aspects of the situation. Perhaps the best way for you to begin understanding. I'm trying to just find where it really tells us the answer, because a lot of times it is a little more forthright. I don't want to spend too much time trying to find it. So it says except. Notice it says except. All of the following are areas of study of leadership researchers except, what do you think? Goodness, the relationship between leaders and followers. I really don't know on this one. These all are, I'm going to say the aspects of the situation, but that's not physical traits and behaviors of the leader. Let's say personality. And I've got 27 questions, and I'm going to say I know it. And yay, I got it right. So how about that? So I keep reducing it down. Now I'm just going to pick, I'm not even reading. I don't know. I'm going to say I know it. Okay, I got that one wrong. Okay, and it tells me the correct answer. You know, I can still go and read about it. If I am convinced I am correct, I can challenge that question. It will go to the book publisher to let them know that, you know, perhaps you think there's an error or something like that. But anyway, so this is how you earn the points as you go through. Now, I had 26 questions at the time I answered this. When I click OK, I still have 26 questions. It did not reduce the number. So I need to go through here and I need to answer every question correctly. So it's a very interactive and dynamic way of reading this. Now, I can go back and read for a while if I'd like. Maybe I need to go cooked dinner for my family, so I'm going to leave this, and I can come back in and I can keep answering questions until the due date. So remember those 3 bars up there. There's my menu, leave SmartBook. And I'm back. So this was under the podium in our classes. We looked at required assignments. We opened this Chapter 1 folder, and we did this assignment here. What do we mean by leadership, which is referred to as a Learn Smart assignment. Now, I don't think there's any magic here about the true-false quizzes or the multiple choice quizzes, so I'm just going to open this to show you kind of the basics. Here's our due date again, and our attempts are unlimited until the due date, right? So I've got 30 minutes to complete this. I'm going to begin. Yes, let's begin. I was about to say it's running a little slow today. I'm going to click continue. I don't know. You're going to answer. You see, I'm just going to say true. I mean, this is not. You know how to do this. Here's what I want you to see. You'll go through the whole thing. The clock is counting down. Here's the clock over here, and it's counting down. I could save and exit, but the clock will continue to count down. So just be aware of that. I'm going to go ahead and submit because I have unlimited attempts. Does it count against me? Isn't that information in the syllabus? I think we should look. I think you should look, right? Okay, I haven't answered all the questions. Submit. And I want to view my results. So I got that first one correct, and now I know the answer to that. That's great. The second one I got wrong. So of course I know the answer is false, but it is showing me that. So this is a great study tool for your test. And in fact, the first test, it pulls questions directly from this quiz bank. Now, as you might imagine, if I go back in and look, here's another place I can review my results. I can take this quiz again. Every time I take it, and every person who takes it will have a randomly generated set of questions. They'll be in different order, so it's never going to be the same quiz. And that's how you learn. That's part of the studying. And that's what, again, so maybe I do what I do, false last time. I'm just going to do a bunch of falses in a row here. But different questions, and just because false was the correct answer last time, well, it's a coincidence, 50-50 chance, right, that it was again this time. So that's great. I'm going to exit out of reviewing my results, and at any time I can click on this, and I had to expand this so I can see each one of my attempts. Now, is this your grade? No, it is not. Your grade will be posted in pause, and I believe if you look at the syllabus, it's going to be the highest score that you earned. I think you should double check me on that. If I was you, I'd look at the syllabus. Okay, let me go back to our class, and multiple choice is the same, again, no magic, 30 minutes to complete, by the due date, make sure it's done by the due date, and begin. The quizzes and the true-false you cannot go back into after the due date, but you can always review the results of the quizzes and that you've completed. Learn Smart, you will be able to open your book, you will be able to answer questions after the due date, but you're not earning points. It's because the Learn Smart is your book. All right, so I'm not going to read these. These are just true, false. The questions are going to be randomized. The order of the responses is going to be randomized. So you're going to go through and answer all those questions. And just like before, you're going to be able to review your results. You're going to be able to see what the right answer is, what your answer was. You can go to your book and look these up. You can learn from these. If you were torn between these two, you may want to go back and say, well, now what exactly is transformational? Maybe I didn't understand that. Let me read it a little more closely. Okay, so even if you didn't answer the question, it is going to help you to study by showing you the right answer. This is great preparation for the test. This is how you study for the test. Finish Chapter 1, definitely go on to Chapter 2, and this is where our February, what was that February 5th date I was looking at earlier? I don't know, but this is where you see that February 4th due date. Okay, Anyway, so all of your work is listed there. There's test 1. So that you have that information. Okay, now that was Connect, and again, the thing I want to emphasize here is that I'm trying to get this worked out. My understanding was that our course had passed all the approvals and that we were participating in the DEI Include Ed program, and so you should not have to pay for your access to this course. I think there was confusion by the bookstore. Okay, so I'm going to go back to pause because I do want to finish giving you the tour. Remember, we came into our course in pause. We clicked on Content, Table of Contents, Getting Started with the Syllabus, and then we looked at this registration sheet, which contained a hyperlink to our course. I'm going to go back to Getting Started because we've not yet looked at the schedule, and here it is. I'm going to click on it. It's in PDF format, which means give it just a minute to download to your computer. Now, if I was you, I would print this. I keep mine right next to my computer. I keep a printed copy of this because I designed the course. I put the schedule together. I wrote the syllabus. I still have to look. So as someone who is new to this experience and working your way through the assignments, I would expect that you would have to look at this as well. So what all do we need to do this first week? Well, we've got a lot going on. First of all, it tells me here's my assignments for the week. I need to read the syllabus, the schedule, and get my access code and all that and go through this. But I also have some things that are due by Saturday. I need to take an attendance quiz. I need to make sure I've created my Connect user ID. Well, check, we've done that. You might want to actually take a pen on that printed copy and say, check, I've done that. I need to introduce myself to my classmates on the discussion board, and I need to do those Connect assignments, which we just talked about. So if I scroll down the page, there's a download button. If I was you, I would click on download, and I would, again, print this, save this, keep it readily a place where I can access it quite readily. All right, let's look at these assignments because we've looked at these 3 that are due Tuesday. We've completed one of our Saturday assignments, but we still need to take the attendance quiz and we still need to introduce ourselves. So where and how do we do that? Well, let's go back to Content. Remember Content? We could have clicked on Table of Contents, I guess. And under this Getting Started category, there is a subcategory for assessment activities. Click that. Here is that attendance quiz. This is going to be the greatest quiz you have ever taken, and I wish I could show it to you, but logged in as your instructor, I can't fully show it to you. It's a 1-question quiz, and it simply says, I'm sorry, I think they're responding to this leadership, to the DEI, and I'm going to let you know about that in a minute. The question, I'm going to give you the whole attendance quiz. Get ready. This is a secret. It says, are you attending? And you're going to click the yes answer, and you're going to submit. And you're going to earn some points for doing that because I need to report to the college whether or not you are actively working in the class. And the way I do that is through this attendance quiz. So to make sure that you are reported to the college as attending, you actually have 3 of these. So I just kind of keep checking with you. Are you attending? Are you attending? And you just go into pause and you answer that quiz. Now I showed you how to get to it under Content. Under our Table of Contents, it was an assessment activity. I will tell you this also. Anytime you want to see your quizzes in pause, you can click on Assessment and then go to Quizzes. And you will just see them all right there. Now, I don't let you do them all at once because, again, I need you to keep participating for a couple weeks so that I can report that to the college, okay? But that's a very quick way to find those quizzes, assessment and quizzes. But in terms of what am I supposed to be doing, your schedule is very important, and under Content, I'm going to guide you through it. I've got all the items here. Now, your final assignment for this week is that you need to introduce yourself. This is another very quick assignment. So it sounds like a lot of assignments. It will be if you put them off to the last minute, but if you start working now, you're going to be done very quickly. I need you to introduce yourself to the class, so you're going to click on Class Introduction, and you're going to, start a thread and post a response. And yay, I see that some of you are already out there and you're introducing yourself, and I love that. Thank you so much for doing that. I just appreciate you. I really do. I love it when I see students that are just out there and they're like, oh, let me get going. I got to get working. I don't want to fall behind. I'm going to hit the ground running. And I love it. Thank you. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an overview of Pause and of Connect. The emails that I have seen pop up on in regards to are you participating is this class participating in the DEI Include Ed program? McGraw-Hill has responded yes. That means that there is some confusion at the bookstore, and so I need to get that straightened out. I hope to email you tomorrow with some good news that it's all done. If not, for example, they have refunded those charges and so you no longer have access, then in that case, you will have to purchase the content. It was never free, okay? So don't think that something has been taken from you. It's just a matter of how that payment method is going to occur. So I will keep you posted on that. I am sorry for the confusion, but you are not going to be delayed because you're going to start with that access code. You're going to start with that free trial, okay? And we're going to get it straightened out so that you know what the expectations are to you, okay? So thank you so much, folks. And if you have any questions, again, I'm Dr. McGrory, and you'll find my email an easy way to email me. Here we go. In Pause, Communication, Class List. Scroll down to where you see Teacher. Check next to me and my name, and then click Email. And that would enable you to very quickly and easily just type a message here, and it will go to me inside a very closed system. So my email address is jmcgrory, but of course it's at southwest.tn.edu. Inside of Pause, though, they have their own email system, and so that's why you see this U Courses thing. But don't worry about any of that. Just jmcgrory, and check that box, send me an email. All right? Thank you, folks. I appreciate you, and we'll be talking to you soon.